Shalom. We'll start this off by giving honor, praise, and glory to YAHAWAH, by YAHAWASHI, YAHAWAH. Peace and salutations to the elect men, starting with the elders of GMS on down, who diligently push forth the will and doctrine of YAHAWAH by YAHAWASHI, day by day, according to the true understanding of the scriptures. To you I say Shalom. So it's gonna be a quick lesson, nothing long, but trying to keep it precise and to the point. This lesson is going to be basically going into the topic, if you will, as far as seeking the glory of the Lord and not the glory of this world, right? Because you have a lot of men within this truth, or that know of the truth, I should say. But even still, men within it, that get the Lord's business in this ministry misconstrued. They misunderstand the premise of what it is they should be seeking to fulfill and to do while being a part of this ministry. It shouldn't be looking to be seen of men, respect of persons, looking to establish your own righteousness, right? It shouldn't be to get your consolation in this world, but it should be to basically stacking up and investing in the world to come, and if I can get real quick, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the scripture that just made me think of was Hebrews 11:1, because it says right here, Hebrews 11:1, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You see, and though we don't have or receive all of the promises now, we're able to receive it's a lot. We're able to receive some of them, now, with us doing what it is that the Lord requires of us, which is to glorify Him and to bring our people closer to Him for His sake, not for our sake, And what is that I'm thinking of? I think that's 1 Timothy 2. No, 2 Timothy 2, I think it is. I'm thinking of. Yeah. 2 Timothy 2:10, it says, therefore I endure all things for the elect's sake, that they may also obtain the salvation which is in Hamashiach Yahawashi with eternal glory. You see? So we're doing it for the elect's sake. We're doing it to glorify the Lord, to help others be able to glorify the Lord and see the beauty within the Lord's true knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, specifically our people. You so-called blacks, Negroes, Latinos, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, you are the true Hebrew Israelites, and these messages, this ministry, the Lord's word, is to you first and foremost. Everything was given based off of starting with the Lord's chosen people, as it says in Deuteronomy 32:8, right? But I just get those few, just to hit that quick point as far as the premise, the objective, what we should be striving for. But you have people that, may come in the wrong spirit, So I'm gonna read here. This is Sirach 11 and verse 1, jumping into to the message, of this lesson. It says, wisdom lifteth up the head of him that is of low degree, and maketh him to sit among great men. You see? And that's the Lord's wisdom that's gonna truly lift you up, out of a low degree. That's the wisdom that you want to strive to have, and it's gonna keep you filled and satisfied, truly having it and truly seeking it and truly being able to prove it and experience it and allow the Lord's spirit to fulfill you. You know what I'm saying? But it says, commend not a man for his beauty, neither abhor a man for his outward appearance. You know, we look at the inside of a man and his spirit. You know, not solely just off of his outward appearance. You know, but it says, the bee is little among such as fly, but her fruit is the chief of sweet things. You know, and that's something beautiful to think about. You know, that's something that we are liking onto. You know, being something so small, but yet having something so great. You know, and our fruit with the Lord is like that sweet thing. You know, that's why we want to strive for it, strive for the mastery correctly. You know what I'm saying, with this ministry, with the Lord's word. You know what I'm saying, with His wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? But it says here in verse 4, right? Boast not of thy clothing and raiment, and exalt not thyself in the day of honor. You see, you got a lot of men that tend to do that, due to the off wicked habits that has been pushed on our people, promoted to our people, handed to our people, through these curses. You know, through our captivity, right? Because we are to we are to let the Lord exalt us, you know, and not ourselves. But it says, for the works of the Lord are wonderful, and His works among men are hidden. You know, it's okay that you don't get the credit that you may, you know, deserve right away. You know, in due time, it is going to be well noticed, and it's being noticed. You know, just because it's not it may not happen outwardly, doesn't mean it's not happening. You know, it doesn't matter about how many views you get on a lesson. It's about the message being out there for those that do come across it, are able to. You know, having that as a resource for somebody, or a brother doing a lesson, to have that be a resource for you to have, is better than it not being there. You know what I'm saying? For them to be able to use or have, you know, in a moment that is needed, right? That's why the Lord said the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. You know, our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Our people, the earth was waxing worse and worse. So with it waxing worse and worse, there's more troubles, more evil that our people are having to deal with and go through, you know? And, you know, they need the Lord's word, because the Lord's word is that comforter, you know? His spirit is that comforter, right? His knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is going to be that guide that our people need, that we need, you know? And us that have it, you know, that have been called into this, you know, we're able to see the beauty, the wonder, the peace, the comfort that this word has given us, that the Lord YAHAWASHI has blessed us with. You know, it's a blessing, and it's a gift, you know, that you don't want to take lightly. You know, you don't want to take advantage of it, you know what I'm saying, by dealing with it the wrong way. You know, it's like you giving something delicate to somebody. You know, you want to make sure they're well equipped to be able to deal with it without breaking it. You know. But it says, verse 5, many kings have sat down upon the ground, and one that was never thought of has won the crown. You know, and that's like YAHAWASHI. And if we are to be like YAHAWASHI, we're supposed to walk like Him. You know, and if we walk like Him, right, then we shall receive, you know what I'm saying, this the same things. You know, and it's written for us to receive, you know, great things. You know, the Lord, and to do great things, because the Lord said, you know, we will do greater works. You know, so we just gotta make sure that we're enduring, and we're making sure that we're staying on point with our purpose, and making sure that we looking to seek the glory of the Lord, not of this world. You know, but it says, verse 6, many mighty men have been greatly disgraced, and the honorable delivered into other men's hands. You know, And you see that with Esau, you know, with this being the world that he's in right now, that he's ruling over. Yet it's coming down, you know, fast. It's crumbling, you know. Every day it's just getting worse and worse. His house isn't gonna stand, you know, though he looks like he's mighty. That's why you don't want to be trying to follow in his footsteps, thinking that you're gonna be able to set yourself up in this world, you know. That's why you want to invest in this world, but the one to come, because it's the one that is to come that we are to be on high. We are to receive the inheritance and all the promises, you know. But let me get this. First Timothy chapter 4 and 13, it says, "Till I come, give attendance to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine." You know, you got a lot of men that go on to use his word for all the wrong reasons. They're looking to try to one up men and try to boast themselves up to be, you know, some new and improved. We got something that nobody else got. We received something that nobody else received. You know, all of in within the wrong spirit. You know, trying to boast themselves up to be something. When the scriptures say when a man thinketh himself to be something, he is nothing. You know, when he is nothing, he fooleth himself. Roughly paraphrasing the scripture. You know, or that he deceiveth himself. However which way it goes. You know. Let me see real quick, because I don't want to butcher that. Yeah, this is and I got my other phone. This is Galatians 6 and verse 3. It says, "For if a man think himself to be something, when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself." You see? And we are only something if the Lord deems us to be something, you know? And that's why we just go on to glorify him, worship him, and do our works for him, to be seen of him. So that way he can make it manifest. He can establish us, you know. But it says, again, "Till I come, give attendance to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine." You know, these are the things that are gonna. These are traits and actions that you could do to help keep yourself fine tuned, sharp, and help you to be temperate. You know, and master this skill of teaching, you know, of giving your testimony, right? Being able to till the harvest, you know, bring our people back into the right state of mind that they need to be in, right? But it says, "Neglect not the gift that is in thee." You see, this is a gift, mind you, having this truth, being able to understand who you really are. It is a gift to know that. It says, "Which was given thee by prophecy." It says, "With the laying on the hands of the presbytery," right? It says, "Meditate upon these things." You know, these are the things that you want to continue to keep in mind. Understand it's a blessing for you to have this blessing, to have the Lord's wisdom, to have his knowledge and understanding along with it. You know, his wisdom doesn't go to everybody, you know, or doesn't stay to everybody, you know, because she gonna try you, but that don't mean that she gonna be with you, you know. And that's why you don't want to take it lightly, because the Lord's not dealing with this world's wisdom. You know, you want to have the wisdom of the Lord. That's how you gonna be able to make it out of here. That's how you gonna be able to make it on the ships, holding to that, studying that, becoming a master of that, you know. But it says, "Meditate upon these things, give thyself wholly to them, that thy profiting may appear to all." It says, "Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine, continue in them, for in doing this thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee." You know, and that makes me think of what it says in Matthew 5, you know, as far as that light, because how it says, "Take heed unto thyself and onto the doctrine. Pay attention to what it is that you're doing. Pay attention to what it is that you're condoning. Pay attention to what it is that you're meditating on, what you're listening to, what you're feeding your spirit with, including your body, Take heed to yourself and take heed to the doctrine. The doctrine is going to help you to stay on point and to be able to see what is good and evil for yourself, That's how that's how you're able to prove your soul, right? And with you doing that's how you'll be able to help another be able to prove their soul, Because with you proving the Lord's word to be true, then you gain experience. And that's experience that you can help somebody else gain, But it says continue in them, right? You're not supposed to just receive this and sit with it. You're not supposed to put it in a napkin and bury it, No, you're supposed to actively work with this, actively use it. It's a tool. It's a beautiful tool. It's like a Swiss Army knife, if you will, with a slew of different, versatile tools that's within it, And it says, for in doing this thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee. You see, it ain't just about you. It's about, again, for the elect's sake. Like I said in 2 Timothy 2:10. I endure all things for the elect's sake, right? And grabbing that Matthew 5, right, is really one of my favorites, But it says, Matthew 5:16, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. You see? And real quick, I'm going to just start at verse 14, because it's really understanding that light that's been given to you, that fire that's within you. You want to really tend to it. Keep it lit, a lot help it to stay lit and to be hot, fervent, It says, ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel. You see, you aren't supposed to hide this light. You aren't supposed to hide this word. You aren't supposed to hide the wisdom, the experience, the knowledge, and understanding that you are able to receive with taking heed to the Lord's word. It says, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. And we're working to seal the elect, and hopefully be of the elect, right? So with us doing that, we're shining that light for others to be able to see this is the way to go. This route leads you to the Lord. Follow the Lord. Follow the light that leads you to the Lord. It says, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. You see? So going back to that, how it said, for in doing this thou shalt both save thyself and them that hear thee. You see? You allow your good works to be seen so that way it can glorify the Lord, and it allows others to be able to see how they can glorify the Lord. With you taking heed to the Lord's word and you applying it to your day-to-day life, it allows you to be able to have that experience and see how it is that you can give his word to somebody dealing with real life, because really most people are living in a fantasy and they know it. Nobody really knows how to deal with real life. I just had a Edomite at the plant, basically you could tell he going through it. It's like he dang near having like a midlife crisis, but because he's all over the place, and that's how Esau moves, but that's what separates us from him and us being of the Lord. We're fully founded, and we're supposed to be fully founded in the Lord. Give our trust in him, and allow him to lead, still doing the work on our end, but doing it according to his measure, his measure for us that he established for us, for each of us individually, So that's pretty much it, right? You don't want to boast of yourself and go about dealing with the Lord's word the wrong way. Judgment starts at the house of God, first and foremost. So you want to make sure if you've been called, you proving that you are chosen. If you put your hand to the plow, don't turn back. You know, keep going, keep moving. Things is turning up in the spirit and in this world. So that means we're getting closer and closer every day. So with that, I'm going to say, Kahalam La, Yahawah, Bahashem YAHAWASHI, Wahawah Kakudash. Till next time, Shalom.